It's week 14, and we're with Dean. Week 14 start sits of the week for fantasy football. It's do or die time. You guys need this to get into your playoffs, to maybe secure your bye. So we're going to help you out because we always get these right every single time. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dean.
Welcome back to the BallGame podcast.
That was a good one.
That was, yeah.
That was a good one.
Right off the dome.
You were a week late on the Jaden Reed sit of the week.
I was
I was
a week
clowning
late.
you last week. Bro, it was Thanksgiving Day. I was texting the group chat, sit of the week, and Jaden Reed just proceeded to score two touchdowns.
Right? Yeah.
But then he
Lucky.
came back last night and put up a big old goose egg.
Let's get into it. Start sits for week 14. Start at the quarterback position. I'll get it started. I'm going with Kyler Murray. It's been such an up and down season for Kyler. He has a good game here, 2 bad games there, another good game here. He's coming off 2 bad games here. They're playing against Seattle. I don't want to get crazy, but I feel like this is a must win for the Cardinals. 2 weeks ago when they played the Seahawks, he had a bad game. We said it when we talked about the NFC West on the pod. We assumed that the most likely scenario for the Cardinals and Seahawks was that they split their 2 games for the remainder of the season. So by that logic, the Cardinals are going to win this game. And by that logic, Kyler has to have a good game. The Seahawks defense is coming along. They're getting better and better every week, but I'm pretty sure Leonard Williams isn't practicing right now. I could be wrong on that.
Might be right on that.
Yeah, I don't think
idea.
Leonard Williams is practicing. I'm pretty sure both corners are banged up, Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant, but I think they're going to play, but I think they're a little bit banged up. So Seahawks defense is a little bit banged up. Kyler, it's just a prime bounce back and revenge spot, and they need to win. So
I'll tell you right now, actually. I'll check the injury report for them. Oh my God.
They have a
Jeez,
lot of
this
guys.
is insane.
Who's that?
Leonard Williams
Seahawks.
Oh.
did not participate at all. Yeah. And then you got, everybody is injured. Full participant, Kobe Bryant. Full participant, Reek
but
Wallen.
they're like banged up.
So-
So
This is completely random. You see Jamal Adams was like suited up for the Lions last
He was
night.
playing.
What the hell?
he was on the
Pretty sure
field
he was on the
last
field
night?
a
I
couple
didn't even
That's
know.
so
Some
crazy.
That's
I
funny.
think he
Him
might have
and
been.
And they got Quan Alexander too,
Yep.
bro. That's pretty cool.
Quan was making a couple.
They're gonna
plays
get
Well,
cut.
last
they're
night,
so hurt right
Yeah.
now on the line.
They had like 13 defensive
Yeah.
guys out.
Yeah, on IR right
And
now.
they're still amazing. Doesn't make
nuts.
sense.
Dan Campbell effect, bro. That's what it is. It's the
culture.
Dan Campbell effect.
Next
And
man
Aaron Glenn's a great defense coordinator too. So
If you want a perfect model on how to rebuild a team, like, listen, they may not win a Super Bowl, but like they rebuilt the team and they're where they're supposed to be. It's up to the players at this
the
point.
next great dynasty. Someone said it. Someone said it in a YouTube video. The
You did
next
say-
great dynasty.
You did. I remember making that thumbnail for it.
So my quarterback stud of the week is going to be Will Levis up against Jacksonville. Going deep for this one. You got some bye weeks, and the Red Rocket is going to make some plays this weekend. We know he's good for a meme, but he's also good to toss some touchdowns. And I expect against the worst secondary in the NFL for Will to have a pretty solid game.
My start of the week is going to be Sammy D. He's been pretty consistent all year. He's good for at least 2 touchdowns a week. Outside of that Jaguars week, he consistently puts up, 15 to 20 a game. Great starter. That's it.
Do you miss him?
Do I miss Sam? What, on the Jets?
Yeah.
We never had a chance anyway. If you put Sam on the Jets right now, we'd be just as bad.
Probably.
It doesn't matter who you plug in. You can get us all the Hall of Famers. You can get us whatever you want. We're still going to always be bad because we're the Jets. That's where careers go to die. That's what I've learned this season. I was so happy when the season started. I was so optimistic. But watching everything unfold just made me realize how dog water our franchise is. And I'm not going to another game until they make the playoffs. I swear to you, I promise on everything. I'm not purchasing a ticket.
true.
I'm not buying a jersey. I'm not buying a piece of merch until they make the playoffs. Not doing it.
You're going to be waiting a while, buddy.
That's fine.
Next
They're
year's
not
a
getting. They're
rebuild
not
year.
getting my money.
Next year's a rebuild year, so good luck with that one.
They're probably gonna bring like Aaron Rodgers back and try to do it again, and they're gonna be terrible again, and then that's gonna be it. And
Nothing will ever beat for me the moment that your Jets fandom really went downhill. September 11th, 2023, when Raj ran out with that flag.
do you really think things would be different if he didn't tear his Achilles?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
And they still had that elite defense. Like, I think that defense really carried the Jets. And I think all they really, really needed was a competent quarterback. And I think I mean, without taking a year off of football, we know once you take a year off of football, things don't look too good for you in the NFL. You know, very few guys get to have a whole year off and become the guy they once were before. Aaron Rodgers was coming off an MVP type of year. He would have been at least better than he is now, and the defense was
Pretty
better last year.
ass.
Team would have been a playoff
Garbage,
team.
dude.
Pretty ass.
He's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Mad funny last week against the Seahawks. Started out so good.
That was
and-
nuts.
And like
He missed Garrett Wilson on a wide open.
Oh my God, that
touchdown.
route was nasty,
So
too.
bad.
props, I guess. Listen, I'll give him credit for coming back from an Achilles injury within a year, ready for training camp at 40 years old. Not many people could probably do that, period.
I don't want
He just sucks.
Yeah.
He just sucks now.
No props, bro. All right, who's your quarterback sit?
My quarterback sit is going to
Aaron
be Patrick
Rodgers.
Mahomes. Oh. I'm picking Patrick Mahomes. Who are they versing? Chargers. The Chargers defense has been really, really good, and Pat Mahomes has not been a reliable fantasy starter all year. We were talking. He used to get taken in like the third round in fantasy drafts for no reason. He's not a fantasy asset like he once was.
Yeah.
If you remove the name from Mahomes, he goes undrafted.
He's gotten it going.
He
the
has been
past
decent
few
last
weeks.
few
I
weeks.
started him a few weeks ago on Josh Allen's bye, and he gave me like 28 points. I don't remember who they played, but I got a good week out of him. Picked him up off the waiver, so
Well, that's
yeah, he's just not that good in fantasy.
Nah, he
Six.
I think 2 out of the last 3 though he's been like over 19,
Yeah.
which is cool. So he's been startable recently, but
They just don't hit on those deep plays.
no, because they don't
He's-
really have deep threats anymore.
he's
Xavier
QB
Worthy is
10.
not an NFL receiver, so
Xavier Worthy.
yeah,
Well,
just not an NFL.
they got to
receiver.
scheme.
I
plays
think
for
they're
him.
just not on the same. Every time they take a deep shot, it's just like an overthrow or underthrow. Like they're not on the same page.
Or Worthy just runs out of bounds as he's
Yeah,
catching the football.
yeah, he's silly. Like he's definitely not. he is
Hollywood
some-
Brown's about to step in, and they're about to be explosive again.
I really don't. I don't think so.
I think he's the key. He's the key to their downfield success.
We've been waiting for Hollywood Brown to be the key of any offensive success for a long time.
Well, he's never played with Pat Mahomes. He's about to play with him in a couple weeks.
I mean, he's good when he's on the field. He just always gets
He's
hurt.
solid when
He
he's
also
on
drops the
field.
ball.
He's okay.
He was good though with Kyler in Arizona.
He had his moments. He's too
Thought
inconsistent.
he was,
That's
he
his
was
problem.
solid.
He's gonna unlock the Chiefs in the playoffs. Watch.
If that shit happened, that would be
MSMVS,
so Chiefs, bro.
My boy. It's time to wake up.
Wow, it's usually time to wake up now.
850.
8:50. That's the exact time.
Nice. All right. So my sit of the week is Brock Purdy, going up against the Chicago Bears, the second best passing defense against quarterbacks. One of the best defenses in the league. We all know that. So you could run on them. You can't pass on them. Team's very banged up. Purdy ain't been great recently. So recipe for disaster. Sitting Brock Purdy.
All right, real quick before I give my quarterback sit, and then we can fly through the rest. Both those teams are due. I've been saying for 5 weeks now the Bears are due. 49ers are most definitely due. Who we got, 49ers or Bears? I'm going with the Bears.
I'm gonna take the Bears. I feel like they got more juice. I feel like the 49ers are just flat and dead, and they look bad.
Yeah.
I'd take the Niners to win the game.
Yeah.
I think. I don't want to watch.
There's no good answer.
I don't want to watch
Yeah, no,
this
I
game.
was just curious. Both teams are due. They need it. My quarterback sit of the week is going to be Jameis Winston. I know it was all fun and dandy not even last week, Monday night that was.
Monday night.
Monday night, Jameis Winston, thriller of a game versus the Broncos. What was it? 4 touchdowns, 2
And
pick
over
sixes,
400
400 yards.
or some
He
shit.
was the quarterback one on the week, if I'm not mistaken. Looks fun and dandy. You mentioned it. A lot of guys on bye. Maybe Jameis is on your waiver. Looks like fun. No. No. They play the Steelers. The Steelers allow the fewest points per game to quarterbacks. Excuse me. And
Hey, he beat them.
exactly. He beat them at home. Steelers get back. Steelers aren't losing 2 games to the Cleveland Browns. Steelers are going to thrash them. Steelers by 1 million. Jameis Winston, under 12 fantasy points.
Not a contender though. Steelers not a contender though.
Please
I mean,
deliver
beating-
from pick sixes, please.
Beating the Cleveland Browns doesn't
No, I know.
make
I know,
you
I
a
know,
contender or not a contender.
Dean, real quick, give us your. You don't got to give an explanation. Just tell us who your contenders are in the NFL.
Like,
legitimately,
can win the Super Bowl.
I only have 4.
Okay,
It's gonna be the Lions,
Same.
Eagles, Chiefs, Bills. That's it. No
Ball.
one else. Very cut and dry. That's
Thank
it.
you. You know ball. Moving on to the running backs. My running back start of the week. I went pretty simple with this one. If you're not starting this guy, what are you doing? But it's Chase Brown. The Dallas defense isn't good against running backs, and Chase Brown gets workhorse loads. Like he's just on the field for like 95%.
He gets horse loads.
He gets horse loads, bro.
What?
He gets a workhorse workload. Right? That's the word? Yeah.
Yeah.
Workhorse workload. Workhorse loads. Chase Brown. He's on the field for like 95% of snaps. He's going to see 5 to 6 targets in this game. He gets all the carries. He's on an offense that puts up points. He could go for 2+ touchdowns in any single game. And just with his receiving upside alone, Chase Brown, he got to be in your lineup.
We really thought it was Zach Moss season beginning of the year, bro.
I didn't.
It was crazy.
I did think it was.
I always thought it was always Chase Brown
It was
season.
always Chase Brown.
It always was.
What do you got?
It happens to the best of us. You win some and you lose some. So I'm going to be starting Isaac Guerrero this week at running back, as opposed to my sit of the week in Brock Purdy. As I said before, you can run on Chicago. You can't really pass on Chicago. I think Guerrero is going to get a massive workload. And he's going to end up doing pretty solid this week. His backup is Patrick Taylor, Shanahan's most familiar and has given the most touches this year to Guerrero. So I'm going to go with the guy that's been on the roster all year, not the practice squad, Isaac Guerrero, having a good week.
I'm going with my start. I'm going with the urban legend Bucky Irving. He's just the best runner in Tampa Bay. They're going up against the Raiders, who are bad. Yeah.
He's the folk
all I
hero
got.
on
all I
NFL
got.
Twitter.
He might be the best runner of all time.
As some would say.
If you really think about
The
it.
bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
The bro.
I love him.
That's it.
He
You're going to get a
does
jersey?
things to me. I got to get a jersey.
You have to get. Those Tampa Bay jerseys are nice.
Creamsicle one is what I need.
Ooh. I was thinking about the dark one. I like the dark one.
Dark one's sick too. They have good jerseys.
Who was it? John Gruden. I don't know if you guys have seen the John Gruden TikToks. They are the funniest things ever.
Got me feeling nicey.
Yeah, he's the best. He actually said that he thinks Bucky Irving is like Darren Sproles 2.0, like reincarnated. And I'm like, ooh,
Bucky
I think
Irving's
he's
a
like,
better runner.
a better runner than Darren Sproles.
That's an
but I like that.
interesting comp.
I'm like, it's cool.
I feel like it's really hard to compare anybody to a guy that's 5'6".
5'6".
I'm not gonna lie, Bucky Irving
I'm like
is
Darren Sproles.
Jameer Gibbs. Like they might be the same
Right.
player.
No, they aren't the same player. One's a lot more, significantly more explosive than the other.
Who?
I think Gibbs is more explosive than both.
Well,
I mean, based on the stats, Bucky
No, no,
Irving's
no.
like the most explosive runner.
Bucky's
in the
better in
league.
between the tackles, but Jameer just has a little bit of a different running style. Jameer just runs around the defense.
I think Gibbs has the top end speed that Bucky doesn't.
Yeah, Gibbs is faster for sure. But
Yes.
in terms of just elusiveness, they're smaller guys, so you think they wouldn't be able to break tackles, but they break tackles like it's nothing. Like they both are great receiving backs. Like I think they're very, very similar.
You
If
know-
I had to pick a comp in the league right now for Bucky Irving, it would easily be Gibbs.
You know, Gibbs is top 5 broken tackles in the league.
Yeah,
you
that's
would
what I'm
not
saying.
think
You
that.
wouldn't
at
think
all.
that, yeah.
He's skinny as
Same
heck.
thing with Bucky Irving. Like Bucky Irving's like near the top of the league too, on way fewer attempts than
Yeah.
everyone else too. It's
Yeah.
actually insane.
Yeah.
Gibbs,
my goat.
it's crazy because like I forgot who tweeted it last night, but someone said Sonic has some Knuckles in him and Knuckles has some Sonic in him. Like they each have a little bit of each other in them too.
They're
so.
so perfect complementary. Like David Montgomery, he was always that kind of like, he wasn't gonna blow by you like other running backs. But David Montgomery was a workhorse back at one point. He wasn't just known as like a just only power back.
Yeah.
They kind of turned him into that, but he still has those traits that he used to have in
he is
Chicago.
huge.
So he was incredibly elusive in
Yeah.
college and
he
in the
is.
start of his NFL.
They kind of
career,
pushed him
too.
into this mold in Detroit, which is great for them because they have Jameer Gibbs, but he could still do
He
those
is a
things.
fucking bowling ball.
Yeah.
Like he's a big boy.
Yeah.
So
Who's your sit, Dean?
My sit, I'm gonna go with James Conner. The Cardinals are going up against who was it?
Seattle.
I think the last time James Conner went up against Seattle, he had 7 attempts for 8 yards. It's not very good if you're looking
Yeah,
for.
you know what I had in my parlay?
What's that?
James Conner, 25 plus rushing yards.
Okay, he'll get 25 maybe.
Yeah, you'd think, right? You would think.
I think.
7 for 8 yards.
Yeah, bro,
Come
averaged
on, bro.
1.1 yards a carry, bro. Bro's doing cardio, bro.
yeah, basically. I hate to do this, but my sit of the week is Nick Chubb. I think everyone loves Nick Chubb, but don't get fooled by the last couple of weeks. He's had some good weeks, but I'm not trusting it. He's been inefficient, and nonetheless, he's playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, as you said before. So it's going to get shut down. It's going to get shut down real quick. I don't expect a good week from Chubb. And he doesn't look the same, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He just does not look
poor
the
guy.
same.
You don't expect it though.
Yeah, hopefully with a full offseason of being healthy going into next season. I wonder if the Browns are going to bring him back or they're just done with that. Is he the free agent, no?
Yeah, he is a free
Yeah,
agent after
so
this year.
I wonder
Or
what
at least
happens.
I think they could cut him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. I don't know, man. Everyone's rooting for you, Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. My running back sit of the
Chubby.
week, it pains me to do this. Like, it actually hurts so deep in my heart. It's Chuba Hubbard, man. I hate to do it, but they go up against Philly. Philly, since the bye, is probably the best run defense
Yeah.
against in terms of fantasy points allowed to running backs. They've just been on another level as a unit. And then you look at last week, Jonathan Brooks, in terms of fantasy, outproduced Chuba Hubbard. He had 7 points. I think Chuba had like 2. And the big thing that stands out is Chuba didn't see a single target in that game. And I know Chuba's not this all-world receiving back, but he was seeing the workhorse workload prior to Jonathan Brooks coming back, and he was getting a few targets a game. But now his PPR upside looks like it's gone. So it's just like if the Panthers aren't running the ball efficiently, then Chuba Hubbard's probably going to keep giving you these 2-point, 3-point, 4-point games if he's not getting in the end zone. So it's tough, man, because Chuba got a lot of people to this point, me
Yep.
included.
Myself
So it's kind of hard to come to ties that like it may be time to bench a guy like that, but you know if you're in a must-win situation or then going into next week the fantasy playoffs, like can't afford to lose games because of silly mistakes like that because of ties to a player. So you might want to get on that if you feel like you have a better option. I mean,
So you would start Brooks over Chuba this week if you had both, for example?
Probably preferably starting neither.
I would preferably start neither, but if I had to choose, I think I would still go Chuba, but like I wouldn't feel good about it
I think Brooks is the passing back.
because I
think
just
this
think
is
like
that.
going forward, like I don't know if it's going to be this week in particular, but going forward throughout the fantasy playoffs, like Brooks is only going to get more and more involved. Like
Yep.
again, they drafted him with a 2nd-round pick. Like they have a plan for him to be a part of this team and offense, and he looked good.
They're also
did.
not like if they were winning more games, I would see Chuba holding on to the job a bit longer. But since they're really not the best team, why wouldn't they give their rookie running back a
Right,
shot?
exactly. Yeah,
There's no reason not-
It's tough, man.
not to.
Like I said, Chuba got a lot of people to this point, so it's hard to bench a guy like that who's been so great for you. But if you have a different option, it might be tough this week too because of all the buys to like find a better option out there. But like, like if I've had Bucky Irving on my bench and I've been starting Chuba Hubbard, like it's Bucky Irving
Time to
without even
swap that, yeah.
Bucky Irving without even thinking about it, not even close. You know what I mean? So
Yo, if Bryce does it this week, by the way, has a good week. I think we could say he's a good quarterback.
I think he is a good quarterback, but yeah, this is a big
This
week
is
for him,
the
yeah.
test of the test.
Well,
so
both of the QB benchings have been
beneficial.
beneficial to both guys.
yeah, it has for sure.
Yeah. Moving on to the wide receivers, my start of the week, it's going to be Darnell Mooney. So I just talked about sitting Chuba. In one of my leagues, I am at my flex position. I'm starting Darnell Mooney over Chuba. I've decided. Darnell Mooney has been great this season. He's had a few slower weeks in the past few weeks, but that's also attributed to Kirk having a few slower weeks in the past couple of weeks. I think the Falcons are just, you look at these teams at this point in the season, sometimes you got to just rock with the teams that are in must-win situations. And I think the Falcons, given where they're at in that division right now, it's kind of a must-win game here. They go up against the Vikings. The Vikings allow a lot of points to fantasy wide receivers. You mentioned it on the pod the other day, especially the wide receiver 2s on these teams. So I think Darnell Mooney's in for a big day. Hopefully Kirk has a bounce-back game.
Yeah, I don't know if a guy throwing 36 miles per hour and under is going to be turning it around anytime soon at the same age, at that age, 36.
Older
Or
than he
37?
was last week.
37 now. so yeah, man,
Extra 7 days on that body.
I don't know if he's going to be getting any healthier.
Bro, but he had...
it was most concerning because they were coming off a bye.
But like what happened between last week and week 4 or 5, whenever it was when they played the Buccaneers on Thursday Night
You
Football?
sling it.
Like what happened?
So apparently,
what
like
happened?
all the guys that have gone through like these Achilles surgeries have like looked good early, and then tail off as it goes
That's
on.
a thing.
Like that's
Wow.
been a thing recently, at least from guys that have.
Probably just don't have the strength.
So I don't know if it's. I think it might be that. Like I don't know, bro. He
Wow.
looks atrocious.
You might
Like,
just need a full 2 years of recovery.
Yeah, you could honestly with the Achilles, but
Yeah. If he was
yeah.
ever going to bounce back, it'd be against the Vikings pass defense. So
hopefully that rush doesn't get to him. So my start of the week at wide receiver it goes hand in hand with my start of the week at quarterback. It's Calvin Ridley. I don't think Westbrook Akine is going to be the one scoring the touchdown this week. Maybe he will. I think Calvin Ridley is going to have a big-time game in a revenge game nonetheless against the Jaguars, a team that didn't end up paying him as much as the Titans did. So one of the worst secondaries in the league. Calvin Ridley has had no fewer than 6 targets since week 6, so I'm expecting a big game in a revenge game.
I'm starting Jacoby Myers if he's not already starting for you every week. He gets 10-plus targets every week. They're going up against Tampa Bay. Jacoby Myers is an easy choice.
he's just so
Reliable.
ugly, though. Like, not like as a person, like starting him so
Jeez.
ugly. Like,
Yeah,
I just.
It's not the sexy pick.
Yeah, but like
But he always
just
gets it done.
Gets it done, bro.
Especially since Devontae left. He's the guy.
No.
Yeah.
He's the second guy there.
The receipt. I guess he's not even the receiving guy. Yeah, he's the second guy.
Yeah.
There's a guy there.
Bry's got to shave that head,
Sear
bro.
McCormick.
He's got to shave
Yeah,
that
he
head,
really
bro.
he might have
Looking
to
like
go
Charlie Brown out there.
He
bro.
might have to go bald, bro. He might have to. Oh man, he'd be so handsome.
My bald king.
Yeah, he is my bald king, honestly. Soon to be bald king.
All right, my sit of the week pains me. I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson. The Jets just blow, and they're going up against the Dolphins, who give up the second least fantasy points to wide receivers. So, sorry, Jets, we suck.
Again, I'm staying in the same game, that Tennessee-Jacksonville game. My sit of the week is Brian Thomas on the other side of things with Mac Jones at quarterback against a really good Tennessee Titans defense nonetheless. I don't know, man.
Did you
It's
guys
Mac
see
Jones.
the Brian Thomas film from last week that was like trending on Twitter?
No.
So he had a good fantasy day. He scored a touchdown. He had like maybe like 80 yards or whatever. I think he finished with like 18 fantasy points. Bro, if Mac Jones was like putting the ball where it needed to be, Brian Thomas would have probably broken fantasy last week.
Well, that's
Missed
good.
him on like 3 deep shots. That would have been like 50-plus yard touchdowns. He would have had like eight catches for like 250 and 4 touchdowns if like ball was connected.
I feel like if we honestly watched the film of like a lot of great receivers, we'd probably see like just,
Yeah.
well, you missed them deep. You missed them again, but nah, Brian Thomas is the real deal.
Yeah,
It's
he
just
has it, bro. He just needs the ball.
He's a
and,
one. He's a
yeah,
one.
He has
He's
it, bro.
definitely
That's
a
my
one.
dog for real.
So
Yeah. My wide receiver sit of the week, I'm saying in that Jets-Dolphins game, it's Jalen Waddle. The Jets defense doesn't allow a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers, and Tua just loves dinking dunking to HN and Jonnu Smith, and doesn't really like throwing to Tyreek and Waddle anymore. So
yo, is Jonnu Smith a startable flex?
yeah.
Like week over week, like you trust him in your
You've
flex
been
spot?
getting what 10 targets. 10
Yeah.
targets gets you a start every.
Like this is a serious question. Would you start Jonnu Smith or Ladd?
Probably Lad.
Probably Ladd, but
I'm still taking the receiver.
Ladd's a stud. Like that's a
Wrong guy.
yeah.
Pick a different guy.
Okay, no. I
Like
had
Jalen
that
Waddle,
situation.
I'd start Jonnu over Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
That's a good one. What about Tyreek Hill?
I'd start Tyreek.
Nice.
Still. Gotta
Probably
start
start
Tyreek.
Tyreek.
still.
Even though you
but
know,
not feel good about
you know
it.
John is gonna score more.
Knowing deep down, John will score
Yeah,
more
yeah.
points, bro. But yeah, moving on to the tight end position. My start of the week is Jake Ferguson / Luke Schoonmaker. Was that your start of the week?
It was,
also?
but it's okay. I'll
We could
change
just
it.
ride it out, bro. Who
Yeah, we're
cares?
gonna do this one together.
Yeah, we could do this one
We're
together.
so sure that Jake Ferguson's gonna have a great week.
/ Luke Schoonmaker though, because
Yes.
it's not confirmed that Jake Ferguson's gonna play yet. He's trending that way. He should play.
full participant in practice.
He practiced
Yeah, he
fully?
practiced
Okay,
fully,
so he
so.
should play. So, fuck Luke Schoonmaker. Jake Ferguson. The Bengals allow a lot of fantasy points to tight ends. Their defense is Swiss cheese. Pat Fryermuth had a field day against them last week. It's
And
the Jake Ferguson
Cooper
game.
Rush loves throwing to tight ends
Yeah.
too, so it seems like he's gonna have a great week.
Yeah, it's the Jake Ferguson game.
I'm going Kate Otten. Love me some Cade Otton. He gets a bunch of targets. Baker Mayfield slings the ball.
Love me some Cade Otton is crazy.
They're going against the Raiders, who are bad. They're both bad. So
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Good job.
You guys know how this works. No fantasy tight end sits of the week because that's just no fun. Tight ends, if you have a guy, you start them. But let us know if you guys have any fantasy questions down in the comments, any start-sit questions. If you guys are in any dynasty leagues that still have a trade deadline not ended yet, the trade deadline hasn't passed yet, you have to do any trades or anything like that, let us know in the comments. Any fantasy-related question, just let us know in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all our socials. Check out our TikTok, special exclusive content, always on the TikTok. And, yeah, good luck this week in Week 14. Let us know. Also,
Rather exclusive.
Yeah, super exclusive on the TikTok. Let us know how your matchups go. You know, like we said, you guys are fighting for your fantasy playoff life, so let us know how it goes. Good luck to everyone. And with that, ball game.